Hello, this is the second in a series of videos about different kinds of shifts. There really are two prerequisites for understanding what's going on in this video. First, the video about smooth shifts that I made, and secondly, there's a 2-minute tips video called Dexterity that has some exercises that I'm going to reference in this video. So in the smooth shifts video, I talk about changing speed when you shift, accelerating into the shift, and changing fingers by getting the new finger on immediately as soon as you start shifting, so that you're basically doing a shift on the finger that you're going to arrive on. This video is about a totally different kind of shift that I call popped shifts, and they're basically the opposite of a smooth shift. A popped shift is one where you slide down the cello on the finger that you start on, and then you slap the new finger on, you pop it on. So it would sound something like this. The technique that I'm using here is I'm doing the same kind of shift as the smooth shift to get myself up to where I need to be, where I'm starting really slowly, and then I start accelerating. And I start accelerating right about where I'm gonna land. In this case, I'm putting my fourth finger on an E, which means my first finger's landing on C sharp. So as I'm doing the shift, I'm really stopping on a C sharp, and then I am slapping my hand onto the E. So this technique for popping my hand on is really very similar to the dexterity exercises that I call finger slams, where we did these. I'm holding my pinky really high up in the air, slamming it down, up in the air, and plucking it off. And we're going to use that plucking a little bit later. So you could do this if you wanted to be shifting to second position. You can do it on E, pluck off to C sharp, to get a feeling for that. So you want to be good at that. And then I'm going to put those two ideas together. So I do my slow slide, and I slam it down. Those are the two pieces of this shift. When you get more comfortable with it, you're going to start going not faster in the slide, but faster at the transition, because we don't want to hear this middle note. We don't actually want to hear that. We want to hear the shift come up, and just as you're about to reach the C sharp, you start launching your finger forward. So I'm going to try a slow version of that. That one was better. What I liked about that one is I accelerated my shift a little bit just as I was getting ready to launch. So that same idea of going faster in the actual sliding happens right as you're approaching the note. I am not thinking about that C sharp landing. I'm thinking about putting my first finger on the E. So if I were going to shift to maybe F with my first finger, again, I know that I would be landing on a D because that's third position, but I'm not thinking about the D. I'm thinking about putting my fourth finger on the F. You can try it both ways. If you haven't done this kind of shift before, you probably need to practice thinking about where your first finger is going to land. You can shift first finger to third finger. You can shift second finger to fourth finger. It doesn't work going third to fourth because there's not enough launching. And usually we use it first to fourth or first to third for dramatic effect. Coming back down, it's not a pop, it's a pluck. I don't call it that, I still call it a pop shift. But remember these dexterity exercises? That idea, that plucking idea, is how you come out of the popped shift. So if I come down, it's the same thing, which is I'm going to have my fourth finger is going to land in first position, but I don't want to hear the land. So I'm starting slow, and I'm accelerating into the first position. When I get to my first position, I pluck my fourth finger off. So I wanted to show you an example of a phrase of music, a bar of music that uses both kinds of shifts. This is the first bar of the Swan, and you'll hear the first shift is a shift where I'm going to go backwards and pop my finger off, and then I'm going to come forward and pop my next finger on. And I'm going to do it once, maybe sort of exaggerated. And that's not very beautiful, but you can do this with a lot more subtlety and still have it be effective. So that I get a little bit more clarity in my shift. So here are those same shifts with a slidey shift instead of this pop shift. And to me that sounds very old-fashioned, a little smeary. I don't like it as well. I like the cleanliness of the pop in the shift. So you can practice this all over the whole cello. It is useful everywhere. Mostly we use it in something real dramatic. If you have a note with an accent on, or a note that just feels like it wants to have a real smack as you land on it. And you can use it, try it in different places, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But it's yet one more shifting idea to have in your toolbox. Have fun!